Confession time. For whatever reason, I'm absolutely fascinated by roads. We use them every day, but we never give them a second thought. Why and when were they put through? In this video, I'm going to be exploring the history of the early roads of the Beenleigh area to answer those questions. Why were they put through, when, and also who? And we begin in the 1860s.
The first road through the Beenleigh area actually missed the future town completely. It ran from the fittingly named Samuel Waterman's Ferry at Waterford, southeast through Bars Scrub to the Albert Ford, and then on to various cattle and farming stations in the Pimpamar River area.
And this is where the road came to. This is Carter Park. Behind me is the Albert River. Once you got to here, you pretty much had to swim across. We don't know when the ferry service was put into operation. There are some clues, though, in the Brisbane Courier of 1868. It is mentioned that there is a ferry here and that it was approved as a place of public traffic. So that was in 1868, which means obviously the ferry was in existence before then. Since it was recognised by the government as an important asset down here, I would say maybe it was established around about 1865, 1866. And according to the Queensland newspaper, Saturday the 8th of October 1870, Reverend S. Savage would use this location for preaching. I think on Sundays he held a matinee. Taking a closer look at that 1864 map, you can see that this road is listed as an old timber road. And someone's written on there about it becoming a proposed main road. So where I am right now on this lovely little footbridge, if that road had gone through today, this might be a 4-lane main road. The very first European to live in the Beenleigh area was Robert Johnston, with his wife Isabella Penman and their children. They came from Kirkcaldy in Scotland.
They arrived in the Beenleigh area in about 1863, travelling up the Logan and Albert rivers by raft. Johnston acquired 120 acres of land on the Albert River and planted sugarcane and arrowroot. They lived with the local indigenous people without fear, but with caution. However, Johnston continued working as an engineer in Ipswich and returned to the farm whenever he could.
On this map, it does show the location of Johnston's house. That would place his house roughly where Super Cheap Auto is, just over there.
Seth.
Seth, nice to meet you, Seth. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Good on you, Seth. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Two years later, in 1865, two men and their families arrived on the banks of the Albert River, determined to start a sugarcane farm. Their names were John Davey and Francis Gooding. They had arrived in the colony in 1862 on the vessel Young Australia. They named their sugarcane farm Beenleigh. The name Beenleigh had finally appeared on a map. I don't actually have that map. As a content creator, I know that if something were to happen to my computer, I don't want to be wasting valuable time mucking about trying to find someone who can repair it. That's why I'm proud to be partnering with the sponsor of today's video, Mobile Computer Geeks. Do you need a computer repaired or an upgrade? Maybe web design, web hosting, business emails, or IT support? They've got you covered, and with same-day service, they can come to you. All you need to do is click the link in the description and use the coupon code TECHROB to get 5% off. And it's raining. You see, there was something of a bitter rivalry between Beenleigh and Yatala. Yatala was the place where the cargo was offloaded down on the Albert River. And Beenleigh was kind of subservient to Yatala, and they wanted to go independent. They wanted to have their own wharf. They wanted to have their own commercial interests. So some well-meaning locals here in Beenleigh decided to approach the government and get their own township sorted out. They wanted a town. So the government came down here and they pegged out this area on the north bank of the Albert River. There's Albert Street and Logan Street, which is still there today. The intention was that Beenleigh would become a port town.
As a result, in 1866, government surveyor William Fryer mapped out a port town and was given the name of Beenleigh after the Davy and Gooding farm just down the road.
I'm currently walking on Albert Street. So what was the result of this new planned township? Nothing. Virtually nothing happened here. A number of plots were sold, a few people moved here and set up home, but it just never developed. And the reason why it didn't develop is because a new road was about to be put through, and that would change everything. So let's take a look at this new road that turned Beenleigh into a local regional economic powerhouse. A couple of important things were about to happen that would affect Beenleigh's future. The first of those is just across the road from me there. That's the Glen Hotel. That opened as Baker's Hotel. The owner, his name was Baker. That opened in 1865. This was a very important stopping off point for traffic between Brisbane and the south coast. The second important thing that happened, also in 1865, was the surveying of the Nerang Township. It just so happens that Beenleigh is between the Baker's Hotel and Nerang.
People wanted to get from Brisbane to Nerang and other new places opening up in the south. In response, in the year 1867, the Logan Home Ferry was established by Henry Eden. The road ran south from the ferry and completely bypassed the new port town of Beenleigh.
Understandably, the locals went ape. They had been given a lemon of a town site. So, City Road right here and Main Street further down, this was one long road. It was a government road, and its original name was the Brisbane Road. In the same year that the ferry at Logan Home was established, 1867, a fellow by the name of Captain Smales established a ferry here on the Albert River, just behind me, just over there. Today the M1 is there, the train line is there, and in the distance is Martin Street, the bridge going over the Albert River. So 1867 was the year for ferries to be established in the Beenleigh district. It was in 1867 that the Noya sugar plantation was established by William Warren. This is Martin Street. The sugarcane farm was on this land here and going along the river. This is the retirement home here. And it went around on the banks of the Albert River. This area here was originally known as Black's Gate. It was in 1867 that a fellow by the name of Michael Tansey, realising the potential for business along this new road, established a butcher shop and a general store. That business was round about here at Bratts Park. This is Milne Street, and that's Main Street just over there. Main Street coming down here, that's the government road. Milne was a little bit later. He also opened on this site a hotel which he called the Planter's Rest. Later on, a few years later, this became a stopping off point for the Cobb & Co coach that would come through here via Waterford, and then they would head on south, to the south coast. And Michael Tansey was very astute in choosing the location of this business, because not only was he on the new government road just there was also, and it's long gone now, a trackway just behind me there. There's a creek down there, that's Townsend's Gully. You can see it on this map heading from Windaroo, and there's a dotted line coming up over Mount Warren, the Mount Warren range, and coming up here. So his Planter's Rest hotel and his butcher shop and grocery store was on the intersection of those two roads. Now, as I said, the old track from Windaroo was long gone. The main road is still here. Interestingly, Michael Tansey named this locality here as Beenleigh. That means we've now got three Beenleighs. We've got the Davy and Gooding sugarcane farm, which they called Beenleigh. We had the Beenleigh port town, which never developed. And then we had the Planter's Rest hotel here. Just coming up now on Beenleigh Cemetery. In fact, This entrance here that you see there, this is the original entrance to the cemetery. The road that's just over there is more or less where the old road was. That was the road that joined onto City Road and down into Beenleigh, down to George Street. The first recorded burial here was in 1867. However, the cemetery itself didn't open until about 1870, 1871. Some sources say 1872. This new north-south road created a lot of economic opportunities for the Beenleigh area. People in Brisbane wanted to get to the new towns of Nerang and Southport, and this was the quicker way to do it, rather than the old way via Kingston and Waterford. And you could also get to Bow Desert from Beenleigh, hence the name, the Bow Desert Beenleigh Road. It was in 1868 that James Savage, who had arrived in Brisbane in 1862, set up the Beenleigh Exchange store just over there on the corner of City Road and George Street. James Street, which is just down that way, that was named after him. And George Street just here was named after a fellow, funnily enough, called George. His name was George Stolworthy Dix, and he had his store along George Street somewhere, I'm not sure whereabouts. James Savage's house, this is what it looked like. He set that up between what is now City Road and Alamein Street.
Savage's store, right at the intersection, was the business that created a centre to Beenleigh, a place around which the current town began to grow. Seeing which way the wind was blowing, Michael Tansey moved his Planters Rest Hotel from down on Mill Street up to the Five Ways in 1871. By the 28th of November 1868, Beenleigh had attracted the attention of the Queenslander newspaper, which published this article. Beenleigh is situated at the junction of 5 roads on a dry, salubrious situation. The population yet includes the original inhabitant, who is postmaster, 2 stores, a blacksmith, a gradually increasing number of miscellaneous dwellings, and a few loafers. Part of the township is occupied by a camp of Aboriginals, who have erected gunyahs of unusually large size and appear more than ordinarily comfortable.
It was clear the Five Ways was going to be the focus of the town, and so in 1869, 30 residents signed a petition to get their town moved from over that way to just behind me here. The petition was successful and the town was subsequently moved. This is a drawing of the map of the new town that the locals envisaged. Seeing their success at getting the town moved, 37 local residents signed a petition to get a school established, and that worked too.
The survey of the new town site was completed in 1870 and was bounded by Hamel, George and Mill Streets. Beenleigh was suddenly, to the delight of all, a place of business, and growing fast.
George Street, which is just here, this was one of the old roads coming from the Five Ways. It went east towards the Gooding and Davey farm, but it kind of fizzled out near a creek. It didn't actually go right onto their property where their houses are. Certainly it didn't go to their wharf. So what happened was they petitioned the government of the day to extend this road right down to their wharf on the Albert River. And the government obliged, and this road here, the whole stretch of it, became known as Wharf Street. Even into the 1970s, you can see on this Refidex, it's listed as Wharf Street. Today, of course, the whole stretch is just known as George Street.
In 1870, Hanlon's Ferry Hotel was established by Thomas Hanlon on the Yatala side of the Albert River. And in 1872, Michael Tansey sold his Planters Rest and opened the Beenleigh Hotel on the corner of George Street and City Road.
I'm not standing on anyone, am I? No. Stand back here. Bear in mind, though, there was never a church here at the Beenleigh Cemetery. The first church in Beenleigh dates from 1875. That's about 4 or 5 years after the establishment of the cemetery. It was St George's Church on the corner of Kent and Bellew Streets. The wood to make the church was sourced from Mount Stapleton, which isn't very far away, just over there. The church is no longer on its original site. It was moved to the historical village some years ago. Lovely church, well worth a visit. I've got this thing where if I start reading the tombstones, I'll be here all day, so push on. In 1883, a hotel opened here. In fact, that's behind me. Today we know it as the Sundowner Hotel, but it was called the Railway Hotel originally. That was opened in anticipation of the arrival of the railways here, and that occurred in 1885. The old train station was just behind the Imperial Hotel, that blue building there. Train station was just over there. That was the original one, and it kind of looks like that's where it's going to be put back again. And the Imperial Hotel, just there, which was built right behind the train station, this opened in 1886.
In 1925, a new bridge was built over the Albert River at Yatala. Thanks to artificial intelligence trying to read the old newspaper article, the reading came out as Mr. M.J. Kerwin, Minister for Works, congratulated the Beenleigh Shite Council on the splendid and up-to-date structure erected.
This here is the Red Bridge. It opened in 1931, though originally it was Battleship Grey. If you were going from Brisbane to the Gold Coast, you came along this bridge, down along City Road, through Beenleigh, down Main Street, and then onto what is now the old Pacific Highway, through Yatala and Pimpamar, and to areas further south. This was originally a toll bridge, and the government kept the tolls operating for many years after the bridge had been fully paid off. It wasn't until the mid-1960s that the highway was shifted to the east. There it is over there now, and that has grown and expanded several times ever since. There we have it, everything you ever wanted to know about the history of the old roads of Beenleigh. It's a video I've wanted to make for a very long time, and thank you very much for watching it. If you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting that like and the subscribe button. I'll see you again on the next walk. This is new. I've never seen this before. They've installed this flood marker here showing where all the river has flooded to. You've got 2021 down there, 2013, 2017, 2022. It's flooded a lot. And then 1974 at the top. Wow. That's amazing.